Nice, nice.
Alright, what's happening, plebs? We out here with another episode of History of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Player, and I believe this is episode 9 or 10, I think, so we're going strong, we're going good. And today, we are blessed with the opportunity to speak to the card guy, the Fire King, Kozmo King himself, and it is Blair Hunter.
Yo, what's going on, everybody?
How are you doing today?
I'm good. I literally just got off work, so a little beat, but feeling good nonetheless. How about you?
I'm good, I'm happy to have you here, man. So, yeah, let's just jump straight into it, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, so pretty much for those that don't know, being 26, basic person, college degree in music, graduated about 2 years ago, and pretty much work as a server bartender right now, working in the management. So I've been working kind of late with that, but just starting with the game, I started in 2009. One of my frat brothers from college actually ended up getting me into the game. I watched the show, of course, almost like everybody else, but he got like I played it for a little bit when it first came out, got rid of it, then he got me back into it, and then just from there, I just wanted to just get like better, get competitive with it. Like almost anything I do, I want to do it like the best of my ability. That's what my parents taught me at a young age. Just if you're gonna do something, like invest 100%. So I got into the game and I was like, all right, I'm gonna invest. I'm gonna like learn stuff, get better, like, and just do well at the game.
So, like, when you first started playing out, like, I guess you were just playing kind of casually and stuff. What was your first deck?
Said my first day.
Yeah.
Uh, it's two answers to that question. My first deck that I built was actually just a bunch of random cards. I think it was like some tuning warrior or the vanilla level 3 tuner was in there just to try and sync or something. My boss monster was Frostosaurus. But it was just some random jank deck. It was terrible. But I think like the first deck that I actually like built together, like built and had like structure was I think Gemini's thing. That was when the Gemini structure deck first came out, and I bought one structure deck. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something, but didn't realize you had to buy three of the structure deck. So, so I learned the hard way about that. But like yeah, the Gemini's was like the first real one, like with the actual name that actually like worked together.
So, did you take this to locals and stuff and enter some tournaments and whatever?
I did actually. I didn't top any locals. I can tell you with like I didn't top any locals. I didn't top any locals with Gemini's. Even after I went and got like the three structure deck and like the extra stuff outside of that. But like I didn't. Nah, Gemini's weren't the move.
Well. So, when did you decide that you were gonna start playing some meta decks and you were gonna really get into it? What was your first like real deck?
My first real deck, like that was would be considered meta, was Monarchs, the Frog Monarchs with the Treeborn Frog and Fishboard Blaster. That was my first real deck,
And what
and
gave
I
you
just didn't
the
realize like
drive to like go ahead and really push yourself and decide, okay, I like this game. I want to do well at this game. I want to go far.
I think what drew me to it was just like being there, like because it was a whole bunch of us like at my college that actually played the game, and once my frat brother like taught me, he introduced me to everybody. I'm like, oh my god, this is really cool. Everybody's come together, so I think just wanting to be with other people like with similar interests made me want to like just get better at the game because like the people I met were like 10 times better. Like you can tell like the skill gap instantly, like even just watching them play or playing them yourself. So seeing them and seeing how they did at the game made me want to get to that type of level, or at least what I thought what that level was for what I had seen so far.
How did it feel at the
Of course,
time when you first got into it and you were surrounded by, better players and people who were obviously like, really clued up and probably had like a couple of tops and achievements for themselves? Was that like intimidating for you at all? Did it ever like phase you or make you think like, oh shit, like I can't do this, like, or, that kind of thing?
yeah. The thing with me, as it comes to the game, I don't get intimidated easily. I don't get intimidated at all, if that. So like I see them like they have their achievements, their regional tops there. Well, the group they just had regional tops. They none of them really had like YCS tops, which got me to like where I saw outside of like the circle where I was in my college. But seeing where they were like just higher than me just gave me the drive to be like, okay, I'm gonna build this deck. I'm gonna do this way with this deck. I'm gonna research these cards, know what outs like with outs their deck or whatever. I like back at that time I did a lot of reading of cards. Like uh the the wiki, the Yu-Gi-Oh wiki, I almost like after class or in between classes when I wasn't doing work, I literally would go in there and just like research cards, look at cards, read card like text and everything, like look at the new sets coming out to plan ahead to see what type of decks like I would want to, I'd be interested in like playing and learning that deck to like so I'd be able to like be one step ahead of the people that like I was playing with at college at that point.
That's pretty dedicated, to be honest. Do you think that like helped you and propelled you forward, like ahead of the curve, kind of thing?
Oh yes, 100%. Like that put me so far ahead. Just having that knowledge, like just like within the game period, not even just like my that situation right there. Just having like inside knowledge or extra knowledge over your opponent or over other players, like it gives you like just so much of an advantage, and like you can like literally just mind trick your opponent. Not even just mind trick them, just like outplay your opponent just because you know so much of the game and they don't know stuff. So you're able to make plays, make certain moves to force a certain situation to work in like in a certain put in a certain situation that your opponent doesn't know like how to work around or play around or something like that. And
Sounds
I
like
think
you
that
put a
like
lot of effort into your technical play. How did you feel like your technical play improved over time, and like what how did you like kind of like learn to like get it? You know, when it came to like managing resources and that kind of stuff. Because technical play is something, you know, a lot of people kind of just they just don't get ever at some point, or you know that kind of
like
just clicks one day.
it definitely clicks like just watching like my it's a lot with this circle like at the beginning, but like with my circle just they show me like the beginnings of like learning technical play, like managing your resources, doing this in a certain situation. But what really propelled me like with my technical play was when I started actually judging Yu-Gi-Oh events. My first like I didn't really judge at locals, but one of my like good friends that I met at Super Games up in Atlanta in Georgia over in the States. I met him and he started actually he was actually got me into judging because he was a big time judge in Georgia. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. And my first regional that I judged was 2013, the beginning of 2013. I judged a regional in Florida, Orlando, Florida. My first time judging, period, and it just opened my eyes to like all the stuff that I didn't know. I thought I knew a good bit at that point, but it showed me how much I did not know. I still did well, like ruling wise, I did okay. There might have been like one or two that I messed up on, but it showed like, oh, you can do stuff like this, or you can do stuff like that. There's certain things you can do in the steps, like player priority, quote unquote. But like judging gets you to a whole nother level, and that's what got me to a whole nother level to actually be able to like do really well with technical play, like judging, because you learn so much, like not even just like uh within the game itself, like policies, like going into time, like you shouldn't definitely don't try and go into time on purpose, but like what happens if you go into time, how to like manipulate that, play around that, like it was just so much stuff. But that judging, but judging 100% like boosted my technical play like 100%.
So, do you think that's something you'd recommend to a lot of players? Would be to like really, you know, get down with the rulebook and understand the game mechanically?
Oh, 100%. Like if you have the time, or like if you have the time to like invest into actually being able to judge and stuff, like of course you need to make sure that you're like if you're in school, yeah, if the best thing I can say, if you're like in college or something like that, that would be the best time. If you're like really invested in the game, that'd be the perfect time to do it. If you're out of college, like you have a job, of course you can do it if you're like your job, you're steady with your job. You can like get your weekends and stuff like at the time that my job's been and my job now are like really flexible. So I can literally just be like, hey, I need these days off. And they're like, oh, okay, it's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to make sure you need to make sure that your just schedule is really flexible. But if so, I would 100% um like tell you to do that. because you like once you like judge a couple events and you learn the new stuff, then and you just go back and play like putting what you learned into actually putting it into your game, it will open your eyes. You'll be like, I didn't even know like I was able to do this. Like you just like ascend to another level pretty much. Almost like turning Super Saiyan.
So rewinding a little bit, what was your like first success at the game? Even just at the local level or regional level, like what was it that kind of like made you realize, oh shit, I've got this. Like, I wanna get more tops. I wanna go higher.
Okay, so well, I started the game in '09. I didn't top my first. I didn't top a local. I want to say until 2012.
Wow.
I think that's a long that's a long. And through those 3 years, I did go to locals,
Did you
and
have
a lot
like
of
a
those
really
locals,
competitive one?
yes, it down where I was in Macon, Georgia, Toys and Games. He moved like a couple years ago, so the store's not even there anymore. But it was very, very, very competitive. Like people coming in there, like it was. I'll pretty much say like it was like the super games of where I was, the area where I was. Like everyone came in there, they were playing meta decks, top decks. People had like tops out the ass, and like it was highly competitive. And like I went in there, I got my ass beat every time. Even until like the store like disbanded or whatever, I never topped at that local at all. But like until they even after like when they were getting ready to leave, I never topped at all. That's how competitive it was. But it did help me like just mold to where I was. But 2012 was like when I started seeing success. I think I was like when I was in college, I was um, doing research on cards on Wikia, and I read the wind up cards. And like me and my roommates that played at the time too, we were reading wind up cards, and they were like, "Oh, these cards seem pretty good. They seem pretty broken." So I started doing research on wind ups, and then once like the stuff started coming out, of course, they didn't release everything at the same time. I just started picking up stuff bit by bit, and I would work on the deck, and then keep on going until like finally like the broken stuff like Zen Mighty, the set with Zen Mighty and Zen Mains and stuff came out. Like that's when I started seeing success because of just the research I had done and like knowing what the cards did.
So what was your first taste of success?
It was it was topping one of the new locals that popped up in the area. Like I started topping consistently. I started like topping, winning box tournaments. So like I was so at that point my product started becoming free at that point. So I didn't have to like be the plebe and buy boxes to try and pull cards versus like just either getting the cards outright or um winning the box tournaments or placing the box tournaments where I got free packs to where I would just have a free chance to get the card anyway. So
Yeah. And what decks were you doing this with at the time? Just the windups?
yeah, windups. When it first started, it was windups at the time, and then I moved on to I think I started doing. I think after windups started getting hit, I did move the insect. I moved the insectors for a little bit, but I started playing them after they got hit. And what else? Infinity as well. I think one thing that kind of messed me up at that point in time, I used to have like me and my roommates, we all had like 9 or 10 different decks that we had. And then like of course we weren't like as fully competitive at that time, but we would play around, have fun, so like we can switch decks. Like so like we just keep switching decks when we play, and like nobody knows like what they're playing, like what anybody's playing. And like of course you can tell like with the sleeves because all the decks were in different sleeves, but then we got to a point where we would change the sleeves on all of our decks so you wouldn't know what we're playing. So you see these color sleeves, oh he's playing this deck, then I play a card like, whoa, hold up, I didn't expect that. So but even though that was fun, but having all those decks you can't really focus and like fully perfect like one deck or your best deck because you're so invested in all the other decks that you're trying to play or trying to learn. Unless you've been playing all of them for a long time, but playing all of them at once when you haven't fully mastered one at that point, like it takes a toll on you. It can take a toll on your game and like how well you do at it.
So do you think like your unfocused kind of deck choice was a hindrance at all?
Say that again.
So do you think like the fact that you didn't focus on anything specific, you kind of just played around with different things, like do you think that was like a hindrance?
All right, Blair. Oh, yes, yes. At that point, it was. At that point, it was. And I learned. I saw that and I learned it and I changed. But at that point, I was just too busy. I was being competitive, but I was too busy having fun as well with my roommates. So I didn't really pay attention to it at that point. It was just like later on I realized it. So I started just focusing on focusing on one deck at first.
Mm.
But there is a thing where learning or playing multiple decks did actually help me out later on. I did start getting to a point where I excuse me where I played exclusively one deck. But I'll go say I've already had my invite, I'll go to a regional or something and play a different deck. Like I think what was the Satilla Night format. I was I read Satilla Nights. I like what this is. Deneb, Altair, Recur. Oh yeah, that's my deck. So I invested in that and played that exclusively for a while. But I got my invite. I always get my invites early. So I like the other regionals I go to is just literally just for fun. So I'll go to another regional and I'll play a different decks. Like say in that Satilla Night format, I'll play Shaddolls and I'll play it so I can learn the deck. So if I choose either to play the deck, I know it, or if I choose to play, if I play a different deck, when I go play against a Shadow player, I know the ins and outs of the deck. So I know what the deck can do, what they can't do. I can tell off rip what version they're playing, and their outs to certain boards, certain cards. Like they have to draw this specific card in this situation to out what I'm doing. So at that point, later on in the game, not playing as me, not playing 9, 10 decks, but playing the best decks that would see the most play, playing those, playing all of them in that time frame helped me learn the ins and outs of a certain deck, whether I'm playing it or playing against it.
Mm. So going back a little bit before we moved into like Duelist Alliance and stuff. What was your first premiere event that you attended? What did you play, and how did you feel and prepare for the event?
My first premiere
I
my
guess
first premiere.
I don't know, like a YCS or even like a really really like big prestigious regional or something like that.
Uh, the regionals in Georgia are pretty okay. So I don't I'll skip that. That's a long story. But my first YCS that I went to, I think it was YCS Atlanta. It wasn't 2012 because I was busy with school. I think 2014 was my first YCS that I went to. That YCS Atlanta was my first one, and it was a fun experience. I think that was when Hieratic Dragons had first came out, like the Hope and Hieratic Dragons. And at that point, me and him were going to the same locals at Super Games. So, and me knowing that he was as good of a player as he was and everything, I tried to be up under him all the time. I was that type of person that would slide in DMs hey, what you playing? You got a list for this, you got a list for that. That used to be me. So I was just up under him all the time, trying to figure out what he was doing. Then I heard about the Hieratic Dragons. I'm like, oh yeah, let's play this. And I tried it out. It was amazing. I was like, okay, I'm doing this. And um, I just started off pretty well. I won round one, lost round two. But that's all my events. I literally have a curse where I'll win I'll either lose in the first three, or I'll lose round one. I'll either lose round one, round two, round three, or round four. One of those I'll lose one. And then I went out for a while. And then I'll lose another one round seven, around eight. And then at that point I'm on the bubble. And at that point either I like went out in top or I scrub. So so that YCS won round one, lost round two, won all the way out. And round seven I lost the water. And round eight I lost on the bubble to water.
Oh.
And that was my first YCS experience. I was not happy about it because I literally both of the water matches I got sacked to hell and back.
I mean, that's
They
still a
opened me
really,
up.
really good record for your first ever YCS.
Hmm.
You were playing a lot for the time as well, so like leaving the YCS and stuff, like, were you did you have a positive or negative outlook on the whole experience?
I had a positive outlook. Like I was like, well, at least I did this well. At least I did okay. But I'm always like whenever I bubble or whenever like even if I don't make it to like the first place or at least the finals, like well even finals if I lose in the finals, like I always leave like oh I could have done this better or could have done that better. Like always looking at stuff in hindsight. But it's always something to improve. Even if there's some things that are out of your control, there are still things that you can like look back and improve on to help like better your game and like get ready for the next tournament. And that's always just how I go into looking into things if I do well or if I don't. Like I try to like it's sometimes kind of semi negative, but somewhere I turn into a positive for the next event that comes after that.
So, what was tell us about some of like the lowest points for you during the competitive career.
Some of the low points was I think when I wasn't like topping at all, like when I kept bubbling every single event. Um, my first premier event, like I topped I think Dragon Ruler format, which was what 14. Oh yeah, I think it was 2000. No, it was 2013. 2013 was Dragon Ruler format. I that region that what that after that I judged I judged the world WCQ. So like I played a couple little bit of dragons, and then there was a regional right before right the last regional before dragons would go to the next list, and like I was going expecting like okay I'm gonna try and do it my best. So I win round one playing dragons like full power dragons. Round two I win. Round three, round four I win. I'm like hold on this is weird like something's going on. So I'm like all right I'm 4-0 right now. I got to go all the way. So I think it was 9 rounds for the regional. So I'll keep winning, like winning mirror matches, winning against like evil swarms, winning against
Publix.
like dark worlds. But I think I might have played. I don't think I even played any spellbooks. If I did, I only played like one, but I still beat that if I did play it at all. But I like just won out. Round eight, I get to play this mirror match, and the regional went to, they were streaming it. Like they had like a big old TV in the place where they were, so they could like stream and like broadcast the feature match. So I was on the feature match round eight, playing the mirror match, and like it's a really good game. But game three, I just brick, like I brick bad, and I just get destroyed game three, and then I turn around and win round nine. So like that was my first like regional top eight, and like right after that, there was a Georgia regional with the dragons like being hit the first time. Like when I'm playing Ravine Dragons and like Mythic Dragons. My ride, like I stay with my ride. He stays like right around the corner from the place. So we no one sets an alarm for the regional. So
I know where this is
so no
going.
one sets an alarm. So no one sets an alarm. So we finally get up and we're like, oh shit, we're about to be late. So we get there. We put the address in the GPS. We go to where it says the GPS tells us to go, but it's the wrong address.
Wow.
So we go find the right address. We get there. They're like, all right, if you sign up now, you're gonna get a round one match loss. And people are like, just fuck it, like fuck it. I'm not about to pay money for to lose the first round. I'm just like, fuck it, whatever I do. I'm not it didn't come here for nothing. So we get the round one match loss, and like so that's my loss for round one, like for like the first 4 rounds. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Round two, free scrub. Round three, pretty free, and then like four on, I start just gaining momentum, and like even in that, I had to play Hoban in one of those rounds, and I ended up beating him, and just went all the way through, and like finished the rest of the day like not losing at all after the round one match loss.
Nice.
Yeah, so like that was my second one in that, but that was like insane.
This doesn't sound like any lows.
Yeah.
So you never like at
Uh,
any point in the game just like just really start like hating the game or just got so like super
um, I,
frustrated.
I got frustrated after. Okay, my first. All right, so I did. I start talking about that. I lost track. I'm sorry, but My first like my first quote unquote, how you look at it, my first premier top was the ARG 20K, the first one they did in Ohio. I topped that one, top 32. I lost in top 32. I was playing hat. The deck is terrible. I don't know why we even played that, but that was my first. That was my first quote unquote top. No matter how, like however you look at it, if you count ARGs, if you don't count ARGs, but after that, like I didn't. I went to a whole bunch of events. I started traveling more, started traveling to YCSs, and I wasn't topping at all. And like of course I did the lose first 4 rounds, but at that point, like I would just lose. Like after I lost in the first 4 rounds, I would just like lose straight out after that. And I'm like, what's going on? Like I'm doing everything I'm possibly think I could do, and I got to a point where I was like I really was getting frustrated because after that one top, and once you get that first top, like no matter what level it is, you want to keep on going. You don't want to just like be like, oh, this is my one top. That's it. I'm done. You want to keep going, like keep getting those same tops, or even get higher than those tops as well. So once I like, oh, I topped the 20K ARG like 400, 500 people, and I topped that. I can't top, and I'm not topping all this other stuff. What's going on? And I just had to go back and just reevaluate like my game, like what I do in my deck building, side decking. Side decking was like I think one of my biggest problems back then. Like there, I didn't know what to take out or like what to put in. Like I had a bad problem of like oversiding. I would side like 7, 8 cards, and then at that point you're taking out engine cards, and your deck's now not doing what it's supposed to do, what it's built to do,
Mm.
and that was like a big problem. And I think that was my lowest point after my first top, and I wasn't topping. I didn't get another top when I started traveling to YCS. I traveled to a lot in that time period.
So before moving to like recent years, um, did you get involved with any like teams or anything, or just kind of like collective circles and stuff to like help you improve your game?
You broke up a little bit. Say that again.
A little bit before like recent years, were you in any teams and stuff like during the early period that you felt like helped contribute a lot to your game? Was there any like like Yu-Gi-Oh role models and stuff that you had that were like really inspiring, or people that you spoke to that like really drove you to like do better, or got you out of your like really frustrating period during like 2014 or whenever it was?
Actually, it was. I was on this team. The my judge mentor I told you about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got on his team. It was called YG at the time. Like a not really nice original name for a team, but like he was the one that like he got me into judging, and like he had a big group in the Atlanta area. And actually, funny story, Desmond was on that team with me.
Nice.
Like Desmond, he was actually on that team with me. So like we were on that together, and I was like a lot of them. I was like talking with them, and like they would like give me hints, like not necessarily hints, like they told me like ins and outs of the game. They helped me deck build for like regionals for other events as well. So like that was my starting point, like of actually starting to get better, trying to get better. And like with them, I actually did like start like starting to see progress in my gameplay. And like I never like I'm still with the team. I never left the team. It was just everybody else started doing their own things pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like people like life happens, people getting jobs. Um, like what my mentor, he's actually in the Navy. He was in the Navy at the time too, but he was just stationed in Atlanta. But he's uh on deployment right now. He's on a ship just sailing the world, and I talk to him like now and then. And like we still got a group on Facebook, like where everybody can come in there and check on everybody. But like
Mm.
I never really left. It was just everybody started doing their own thing.
Yeah. um so I guess like moving forward to, I guess, the card guys days. I mean, you had like a huge recent flow of success. Were you in the card guys when that started, or did you join before or after?
I joined before technically.
Hmm.
Like I joined right before like my success really started.
So tell us a little bit about that
But
and the process and how you met and all that kind of stuff.
okay, so the store that we went to down close to my college, like that's where I met Kyle Spooky. That's actually where I met him, and I didn't really know him that much back then, but Like he was in the game, he was doing pretty well. He got out for a while, and then he I think like a year or two. Then he got right back in. When he got in, we all had friends. Like my roommate now, we all used to come over like his old house. We all used to everybody in the area came over there. We would just play and talking. He came over there a lot, and that's where I talked and met him and like met him and talked with him. So even back then before he quit, he had a channel which was Spoofy 29 on YouTube. He used to YouTube back then, and like once he got back in, he was like one of his old friends from high school. He was like, "Hey, I want to start another YouTube channel." And his friend was like, "Okay, yeah, let's do it." So him and Alex, if you've seen the channel, like Alex was the other like co-founder of TheCardGuyz. So it was just them two. They were doing the videos and everything. And me just like being near him and watching like what they were doing, I was like, all right, this is something I want to be interested. Like I'd be interested in doing because technically, like when I started, I always wanted to be like kind of Yugi. I wanted to be Yugi famous. I wanted to be like, hey, that's Blair. He's known for this deck. He helped pioneer. He helped create this deck. I always wanted to be that type of person.
Yeah.
And like I was like, this could be like the medium for me to do that. So I told Kyle like, hey, I'm interested. Like, what do you want me to do? And he was like, okay, do a video on this. And I did a early video. I can't even recall like what it was on. It was like talking about some like rulings or whatever of certain cards, but it was really it was really cringe worthy. It was really terrible. Like the angle was like it was like angled down like a porno style angle on the camera and everything. So like it was bad. Like it's still up on the channel. So if you dig deep in the archives, it's there
Oh
and it's
shit.
bad.
We gotta link that in the description when this is done.
It's bad. Oh my god. But like I got on the, like he officially after that he officially put me on the team, and then like my first event being technically part of the team, like it wasn't really a team thing at that point, but I had a shirt and I was with them.
So how did
So
the
the first
go down with like YG and stuff? I mean, you were still like with them, and then
at
like
that
you
point,
transitioned, or how did that go down?
like the transition had been happened. But at that point, everybody was already off doing their own thing.
Hmm.
Like the team really wasn't like together at that point. We still like were cool and hang out, but like at that point, nobody from YG was really playing. So like it was technically cool at that point. But I'm still like I still with them and like I still like respect them and love them and like hold them like with me like when I do my success and everything. So
Yeah.
there was no bad blood or anything. Like everybody that I've talked with, like they're cool, they're happy with it. And every time I do something like you know where you started from, and got I got you.
Yeah.
But like I think the first event that I like went to technically quote unquote as a card guy was YCS Charleston. That was my first event
What year
as
was
a card
this?
guy. I think what's that 15? I want to say 2015, early like February 2015. I want to say
Hmm.
yeah. So I'm think that was like the first event where Dark Law was legal, and majority of the people were playing Burning Abyss with like the new Burning Abyss stuff that came out, like the second wave I think with like Farfa and Alec. I want to say. I'm not sure. I think it was the second wave, second or third wave.
Yeah.
It was dual. I think it was Duelist Alliance with Exiton was legal,
Yeah.
and and I was playing Taylor Knights. People were playing BA, and some of them were playing Mass Change the second to make Dark Law and BA and stuff. So I played Taylor Knights, and I think I was doing like a really really jank build. I was mainly triple maxi, and I'm going through the deck. I'm like, all right, I literally borrowed one of my friend's decks, and he was playing duality. I'm like, I'm not playing duality. I want a special summon whenever I get the chance. I don't want to choose between one or the other. So I'm like, I'm not playing duality. What do I put in here? And on the way up there, driving up there, Kyle's like, main two Mirror Force, and I'm like, I'm like, yeah, all right, you're full of shit. I'm not maining Mirror Force. So it goes on. So we go in the tournament, and Mirror Force is written on my deck list, and like I play round one. I play round like I'm in Charleston. I play round one against a dude that I play at my locals from Georgia in Charleston. Round one, I'm like, okay, I came all the way to play somebody from locals. I lose to him. I lose to him. I get too old. I'm like, all right, this is bullshit. I'm already X 01. I'm 01 starting off. That's a bad start. I win round two. Round three, I have to play Kyle. So like round three, I play Kyle, and I'm like, damn, we're on the same card. So I play him, beat him, and just keep winning, winning, winning. Just see the pattern going. I went out round eight. Play against Johnny Nagel, and at that point, like the name seemed familiar when I read it on the thing, but he was like at that time he was like a big, well-known player, like really good player, and we have like a really, really good match. I played some BA. I played some BA throughout the day. I played Calvin Tahan actually round five. That was my first time like meeting him and playing him, and that was he's a character, especially like the first time you meet him. But he was really cool.
Jesus.
But like it was funny, and I got beat him game one, and game two, like he literally had OTK. He literally had OTK on board. Like he had Dante. He snatched steal, like snatch steal. Oh my gosh, snatch steal was so broken. He had Dante. I had mid Castile. He snatched steal my Castile, and then summon BLS.
Woo.
And I'm like, and I think he destroys one of my back row. I was mainly D prison at the time too. He destroys one of my back row, destroys D prison, and I'm like, shit. And then he's like, okay, attack for game, and I flip mirror force, and he literally scoops right there. Like
Oh wow.
he practically scoops to the mirror force. Like I can say this now. I'm so glad the guy told me to play mirror force for that event.
Coming in
It was so
clutch.
good. I never thought it'd be that good. Like it was good because nobody saw it coming. That was the only reason why it worked.
Yeah.
That was the only reason. But round eight, I played Johnny Nagel. Um, we have a good, really, really good game, heated game. Game three, I make a play. He gets Dark Law on board, so I'm like, okay, I got to make a Castile to get rid of his Dark Law. So I do my play. I think Altair Deneb. He takes a card out of my hand. I'm like, okay, I make Castile, and he Black Horn and Heavens me. I'm like, oh my god, who plays this card? And I literally like lose because I lose everything. I lose everything. I can't do nothing, and I lose. That's my second loss, round eight. Like I win round nine, and I'm on the bubble all day two. So like day two, I go out. Had to play against Tyree Tinsley the last round on the bubble.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like that was stuff. Like I knew who he was at that time, and I'm like, all right, this is like I think that might have been like the only time I felt a little nervous. I felt a little on edge because like knowing who he is and then playing on the bubble, like that's just double anxiety. Like your heart's racing, adrenaline's pumping. So I'm like, just all right, let's get it. So game one, I win. Game two, he wins. Game three, he's playing BA. By the way, he's not playing the mass change version. He's just playing like the trapless BA with like econ, snatch deal,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And like I win game three because I flying see him, and then I make Javert to bounce it back. And I keep doing
Oh
that the whole
wow.
game.
Damn.
And I
That's
do
the
that the
soft
whole
lock.
and then like it literally like once I won that, I'm like, oh my god, I can't I did it. Like that was my first YCS top, and it felt so good. Like it ARG top like is like it feels good because you're topping and like the prizing that comes with it and like the amount of like the concentration of like good players at that event. But topping the YCS is it's something else. It is something else. It feels great every time.
Yeah. Damn, that must have been really exciting. How did you do in Top Cup?
I played Hope in top 32. So
I guess he was playing
yeah,
that Shadal Lightsworn deck at the time or something, wasn't he?
not at that Charleston. He was playing the BA with Matt Exchange second. He was playing
Ah,
the BA with making Dark Law.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, and game one against him, I just bricked really bad,
Mm,
and then game two went into time, and I lost in time.
damn. What was it like? Well, I mean, you probably knew Hoban at the time and stuff, but with Tyree, I guess that's probably like the first kind of player you didn't know on a personal level that you met. Like, what was that like seeing these like really big players? Like, I'm assuming that must have been the first time you'd seen like really like top names like that, or interacted and met them like outside of like your kind of like friendship circle or locals kind of thing. What was that like?
Yeah. Like it's like playing those big name players for the first time. Like when you're like still kind of new into the game, like new into the competitive scene of the game, it can kind of get to you because like you see your name like, oh my god, you're playing like they come up to you like, oh, who you playing? Oh, I'm playing this guy. You're playing that guy. Like he's good. He's got like 37 tops and stuff, and then like you're like, oh my god, that's a lot of top. That's a lot of tops, and like it does kind of get to you a little bit, but you can't let that just like hinder you. I tried like of course I hear a name, like some names I do recognize, like I recognize Calvin's name, and I recognized Tyree's name because I had known Tyree's success, and then it gets to you a little bit, but then you just shake it off and like, okay, like they put their pants on the same way. They're a regular person. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to. I'm gonna do what I'm just gonna like. There's also a big thing as well. Like when sometimes when you play against like bigger names, you try to play outside of yourself. You try
Mm,
to like you try to play like above your skill level. Try to do like certain things, but you're not accustomed to or used to doing.
yeah, I know what you
And
mean.
sometimes like sometimes that helps out. Like sometimes it works. Sometimes you got to do something that's like really really awkward. But there's a lot of times where you're doing awkward plays when it's not necessary because of like the name of who you're playing, and that like literally hinders you.
Trying to get ahead of yourself, kind of thing.
Yeah, but like
Well,
that was just my biggest thing. Yeah, go ahead.
well, that sounds like a good experience, but you later went on to do really, really well. I think Fire King Kozmo was like the deck that really propelled you forward, or is it a little bit earlier than that?
Uh,
Because there's like a stream
uh,
of like, you know, event after event where you're just like topping or like, you know, at least like doing really well. And I just saw you on stream just like constantly, like every ARG.
yeah, I think Fire King Cosmos is what literally got me there.
Hmm.
Um, I think it started actually on what kind of got me on the map was like my first event win. Was the ARG Orlando with the pendulum deck. When Joker first came out, Magician Pendulums.
Yeah.
That was my first event win. That's what kind of skyrocketed me, got me to kind of being Yugi famous.
Yeah. Got you that
Like,
recognition.
cause I always, yeah, like, cause anytime like ARG or YCS, you win that. Like, literally, people are gonna come up to you. Like, you're gonna get tons of messages, like Facebook Messenger DMs. Oh, hey, congratulations, you got a list? I got this list. Help me out with this list. It happens all the time. Even like with like Yugi tubing, like even Yugi tubing people. I know you get it a lot too. It's like, hey, I saw your channel. I
Yeah.
really like your content. I really like your content. Hey, do you mind helping me with this list? I got
Mhm.
this Moki Moki deck list. Can you please help me out? Like it happens all the time. Like that's where it first started. And I think at that point I was bigger into the channel. I was actually starting to make content because Alex was focusing on school. So at that point I was making regular content for the channel.
Yeah.
So like that couple, like me being a content creator along with like having success in the game is actually what propelled me. And like it also I love seeing like YouTube. I love like seeing us like top events as well because it shows that like we don't suck
Yeah.
and like we can act like we actually can play the game. Like we can back up what we talk about and everything. And like I love seeing like with Will, Cordero, Asian Persuasion, and like myself. Even when Kyle got his first top, like I was happy for him. I was so happy because I got
Yeah.
tired of hearing him be mad about it. But he got, and then the coolest thing with his first one was that like me and him topped together. So
Oh,
like
that's awesome.
I think that was a really cool experience. That was a really really cool experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, but like I think the ARG win was my third top. I kind of went through another like little spout where I didn't top when I was traveling after Charleston. But then like from Charleston when I got to Orlando, that third top was my first win, and it just felt good. And after that, it just kept on going. And I just never thought it'd be with Cosmos because at first I hated Cos. I hated the deck.
Yeah.
The deck was trash because it didn't do anything. Like even when we got Dark Destroyer, you put one monster on board. Oh, did you get Dark Destroyer? Okay, tag out that one monster, Dark Destroyer. Okay, you got that one monster. I'm a pendulum. I'm gonna like throw up my whole hand, my extra deck, and then just like shit on your one monster.
Yeah.
And like Cosmo couldn't do anything. It didn't. I didn't get interest into the deck until it finally got announced that Fire King Island was coming out, like what the Dark Lady said.
Yeah.
That's when I started getting interested, and then pendulums that got like destroyed at that point in time. So like, okay, I've been trying pendulums. I'm gonna try something new, and then like just trying to Fire King Cosmos, it was just another level. It just felt great.
What's the difference between winning and topping? Like, how did that like affect you? Like, because there's a lot of people in the game, for example, who just have like a stupid amount of tops. Like, I know Desmond, for example, he has like an insane amount of tops, but he has no wins. But what is it like to like
Hmm.
have a win? Like, does that like change your kind of your perspective? Does it like change you as a person? At least in Yu-Gi-Oh terms, like how does it like affect you?
Like it feels good, and it like if I'm joking around, I like if I go talk to Desmond, like because Desmond definitely does have, like you said, he has a lot of time. He has way more than me. But the thing that I can kind of hold over his head, even though we're playing, is that I have a win.
Yeah,
And like what talk like yeah, you see the post when Chris LeBlanc talking about like, oh, I got these rings and stuff like that. Like it's all in fun. Like I'll joke around. Like I don't do it often, but I'll joke around. I'll like kiss the ring to Desmond, and he gets and he gets mad. But it's just all in fun. Like it feels good and it feels great to be like, oh, I got this win. Like the trophies in my living room, I can get to look at it and be like, damn, that's me.
yeah,
But like I don't let it stop there. I don't want to just be like a one hit wonder,
yeah,
like one win. Like of course I'm not now because of like multiple tops, but I want to win like multiple events. Like and then like not even just like ARGs, like other events. I want to win at YCS. I want to win the WCQ. I want to win Worlds. Like I have like it's a goals that I have set for like me in Yu-Gi-Oh terms that I want to accomplish. Like I've won a locals, like I've won a top of locals. I've topped the region, the top eight multiple regionals. I've won a regional. I've topped the ARG, won the ARG. I've topped the YCS. Now like there's other things I need to win a YCS, and not even just one, but like multiples, because that's what cements your legacy in the game. That's what makes you remember. That's why whether you love him or hate him, people are gonna remember Pat's name in the game wise because he's won multiple events, he's won multiple YCSs, won multiple ARGs,
yeah.
won Nats, he won a WCQ. He might not have done well at that Worlds that he went to, but he pretty much cemented like being like one of the best players in the game, like hands down.
It's like
And like
that
that's
Babe
where I
Ruth
want to. That's where
effect where, people say like, you go big or go home. Like Corey McDuffie, for example, he's like, everyone knows Corey, everyone loves Corey, but he only has that one win and nothing else. And that's what matters in the end, is that win, that national champion, that title.
Yeah, it is. Like I love Corey. So like, I know Corey like personally. Like Corey is cool, and like he won. Like and it was funny. He got his invite at the last minute, the last regional before that WCQ, and him to go and win it, and even Dion getting second. Like Dion is a really really like close friend. He lives like literally like 20 minutes away from me, and like having them go first and second is like really really cool. But and like Corey, especially Corey, I know like it hurts Corey. He wanted to be because I can tell like how interactive he was with Zodiac after he won. You saw
Mhm.
him like everywhere in Zodiac talking about this, posting that. Even seeing him on videos on our channel, like way way after that, talking about stuff. He wanted to be known in the game. He wanted to be seen. He wanted to be there. But it's hard. Like people like him and like follow him because he's likable. But then you get to a point where like, oh, it's a year later. How many times does Corey have? Oh, the one win. Even though it's a really big win, but there's nothing else to back it up.
Yeah,
Like winning the big, like say like a football team or any team, any like sports team. Okay, they go and win like the championship, the all of the big title championship, whatever, that one year. All right, everybody's on their nuts and stuff, like talking about it and everything. But the years after that, if they don't do anything after that, like the next couple years, they go like 16, like 0 and 16 or whatever. People are gonna be like, okay, like they won that one, but what about the years after that? There's nothing to live up to that legacy,
yeah, exactly.
and that's the biggest thing. That's where I want to be.
Well, you're definitely on your way. Um, moving forward, I guess where we're at now. What's your position in the card guys? Because I get the impression you're almost like a sort of uh like co-leader almost for the team. You know, you're definitely like one of the poster boys for the card guys.
hmm Like once we actually started doing the team thing, like I was the first one to be on there. Like outside of like for the longest, it was just Kyle and Alex. And then once they started, I technically was the next first person outside of them two that they added. So technically, if you look at it team wise, I'm the first member to be part of the Card Guys team.
Hmm.
So and then after Alex leaving, I'm like pretty much Kyle is like the head because he technically helped start it. And like at this point now, I'm like literally after him, like second in command, vice president, wherever you want to look at it.
Yeah,
I'm like like if Kyle can't answer anything or be there, I'm usually the next person to like speak for us or like you need to come to me or anything. I'm the next person that you come talk to.
yep.
And then like I still like reap the team benefits and do like the team stuff with everybody.
And do you feel like you have like a huge responsibility or like this kind of burden on your shoulder to like, you know, carry the guys and just make the team what it is and just improve and uh, get better and bigger?
I do feel like that at times. Like I do feel like I'm there. Like if people need like a motivational talk, like need talking to, need help. Like I feel like I can be that like I am that person they can come talk to and like help potential. Like we have a little group chat. Like if people need help with decks or whatever, like everybody collaborates together. Like I try to help as much as I can as well. Even like I'm technically second in command. Like at the beginnings, there were like people better on my team. I looked up to them as well. Like on another aspect, like playing wise, like back when it was like Desmond, Ben, and Chris LeBlanc on the team at that point. Like all of them at that, like all of them, excuse me, all of them had like more tops and more wins than I did at the point in time.
Hmm.
And even though team wise I've been there longer, I still like went to them and looked up to them like for what they've done and for like helping everything. And like even though like you might be up, it's never too much to like humble yourself to like when you know you need help,
Of course.
like to go out and like search and then like reach it and get it.
Yeah.
And I think that was like the biggest thing that like helped push me further, like just their help and then also motivation to get where they're at. Because people notice that like when you start topping and winning a lot of events, people notice that and they talk.
Yeah. Well, how did it feel when, you know, you guys like the card guys exploded? You know, you had all this talent. Um, you know, that must have felt like really amazing being in a team with like people like Desmond and Ben and Chris. And then one day, all of a sudden, it almost feels like the card guys is just being torn apart by all the transfers and stuff. I mean, I don't want to like, you know, go into like drama or ever, but you know, what was that like at the time? You know, you must have felt like pretty pissed off at some point, or you know, just kind of like super frustrated. Like the team just seemed like everyone was just leaving. Like, you know, where the loyalty at?
Like that's how I looked at it at first because I felt like the group that we had, it was tight. We were loyal. Everyone knew each other and stuff. I think everybody at that point knew each other. Like the first wave, I probably would say the only person that like didn't like feel comfortable knowing everybody was Chris, because the reason he got on the team was because of Ben and Desmond.
Hmm.
So when Ben and Desmond left, like Chris was down for it, like was down like still be with the team, but he didn't know anybody, so he ended up leaving because he he felt like he didn't know anybody and he wanted to be comfortable being with a team where he at least knew somebody, like he was really close when he was really close with Ben and Desmond. So like I understand that, but like it did like at the point in time, like not even just with them, like when Jake left, when Patrick James left, when Tommy left, like it hurt.
Especially
Like it,
Jake. I
it
mean, you guys were like really tight and stuff. That must have been like heartbreaking.
yeah, like I'm Jake stood a homie. Like I still talk to him and everything is fine, but like it hurt me a lot. It hurt me a lot. Like if you go like when him with the team, like majority of the tops that I did like during that time period, like it was with Jake too. Jake was there,
Hmm. You
and like
guys were like
you
a
saw you saw.
partnership. You know, you guys were a duo. Like you guys were firing out the Kozmo fucking tops. Like you guys were on the streams. You know, it was just your season. Both of yous. You know, yous were just doing so well together, and then it was just like was just gone after that.
Yeah, like I know it's not comparable, but it's almost like one of your best friends dying. I know it's not the same thing, but like them being there, you're with them all the time, every day, doing everything together, and then all of a sudden they're just not there anymore. It was like a part of you being ripped out. Like especially once you've invested so much, like it never feels good. It never feels good. I know it's not comparable comparing to death of a friend or a family member or anything, but it's kind of similar. But and that's like how I felt. I was like, dang, we were here doing all this. We're taking over the game and stuff. We're doing well, and then you leave. You just leave, and they're just gone. And
Yeah.
then like PP like them going to PPG, like which was kind of our rival. Like I honestly I didn't even like the first time I ever heard of PPG was the ARG Orlando when I was playing Gabe Molina in the finals. That was like the first time I heard of PPG, and that was like the first PPG versus Card Guys like big thing, especially us being in their home turf in Florida. That was like the big thing, and like them like going to that, like when the Card Guys were so high, like it was literally team wise. It was literally Card Guys this, Card Guys that, Card Guys is stacked. Like who's messing with the Card Guys? Nobody. Then all of a sudden, like it just reversed, and like now it's PPG this, PPG that. Who's messing with PPG? Like nobody. Card Guys, who's that? Like, and then like the memes, it's like I literally got sick of seeing the memes. Like
Sorry.
I got that. Like no, it's fine now. But like at that point in time, like with the fresh happening, just seeing it. Even though with the memes, the funniest meme I did see was when Jake left with the Sprint guy. The Sprint guy used to be with Verizon.
Mhm.
And then he was like, "Oh, I used to be with Verizon. Now I'm with Sprint." And it just so happens he has glasses, and that Verizon is black and red, and Sprint is like black and yellow, so it kind of fit perfectly. That's like the funny. That's the funniest one to me, but like it still hurt. I'm like, God, like I can't look at a Sprint. I can't look at a Sprint commercial right now. Like it's
uh,
it's crazy, but things happen. People left for like their reasons. I understand, but nonetheless, it still hurts.
yeah. Did it ever get like, pretty, what's the word, fiery? Was it ever like just straight up like, throwing punches and shit, metaphorically, of course, but you know, some proper
Not
like shit talking and stuff.
There's always shit talking. Like even before there was shit talking, but like now it gets more because now like we have people from our team that are on their team. Of course they're gonna talk shit, but it comes with competition. But like it doesn't. I don't let that get down to me. I know like it doesn't get down on the other team members either.
Yeah.
Like, it just drives them to like to do better. Like okay, I'm gonna go to this event. I'm gonna show out. I'm gonna do better than everybody. And I think the biggest event that I took that to heart actually was YCS Toronto. That was like right when Jake left. That was before Patrick left and before Tommy left too. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna show them that like TCG is like the place to be, like where you want to be, like how we submit our thing. And I ended up going like I started off that YCS 7-0,
Damn.
like, and and especially like with people thinking like, oh, Kozmo sucked, especially Fire King Cosmos. Like people hated on that deck, like, oh, that deck, that version sucks. The buys is way better. And for me to go into a YCS like Pepper with like heavy BA, Blue Eyes, starting to see big play, and Monarch still being like before Monarch got hit, to start that YCS 7-0, playing BA, playing Monarchs, playing Blue Eyes, playing all that stuff. To do that with that deck, not just showing that like the deck was still good, but showing that like, oh, a player from TCG is doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
Like I literally like just
I mean, it's a big event
cemented
for you.
like
You're trying to like send a message. It's more than just like Yu-Gi-Oh at that point. You're trying to like prove stuff to yourself. You're trying to like, you know, just send a message kind of thing.
yeah, of course, definitely.
How did you do that event? Did you manage to top in the end?
Oh, I did top that. I started. It was 8 rounds the first day. I started off 7-0. I started off 7-0, lost the last round to BA Monarchs, and then
Oh shit! Did you lose
round
to Dave Steven?
I think so.
I think that was the
I
event
think
that
he was
was he
yeah, he
English?
like I'm not sure if he was English. I know he looked. Yeah, okay, I don't know. I don't know how to, I don't know how to explain it without it sounding bad, but
Okay.
he looked kind of Middle Eastern ish. He had long hair
Oh,
and a
okay. It's not
ponytail.
that's not the guy then. All right, never mind.
Yeah, yeah, but like the dude I lost to, he did end up topping. He topped as well, but that was my first loss, but which was round 8, of course.
Hmm.
But then round 9, I had to play against Blue Eyes, and oh my god, I was so mad. Like game one, we get deck checked, and I look at my opening hand, and my hand is broken. Oh my god, my hand is broken. And so we get deck check, and then I won the die roll, so I'm going first. So we get it back after deck check, and I open my open hand, and it is shit. I'm like, fuck, I'm about to lose. So
Damn.
I lose game one. I lose game one. I somehow grind out game two. Like I grinded out. Like I was almost about to lose, but then I grinded it out. And then game three, like I just like rolled through. Like my hand is broken, and he opens really like a blue eyes wise, like really weak. Over all he does is summon alternative, set one pass turn, and then like my first turn, I shotgun. I'm reading a strike on his back row, and so I just shotgun. I shotgun planet, and he doesn't do anything, and I attack over it. Then I attack over it, nothing, and then I summon Tin Can, and then like he draws, sets one, passes, and then I resolve Tin Can again, and then I put a pilot on board. I think I think the second time I did like Strawman, Sword Trooper, Farm Girl, and I get Sword Trooper, and I got like two. I got like Dark Lady and Landwalker in hand. So my next turn, I summon the Sword Trooper, activate the effect. His face down is emptiness. So I just tag out both of my pilots and then put both of them on board and attack for game. And I look at his hand. He has 3 blue eyes in hand. I'm like, oh my god.
Damn.
And his other set was Twin Twister. I'm like, yeah, he wasn't winning that game.
Damn.
And then the last round I play against my teammate Patrick James, and it's a fun game. It doesn't matter. We're both in anyway, so like we just played just for bragging rights. He beats me. I end up X2, but I still finished I finished ninth after Swiss. So like I'm still like golden.
You say Patrick James? Didn't he leave?
Yeah, he was still with the team
Oh, right at the
in
time.
Toronto.
Hmm.
Yeah, but after Toronto was when he left.
Okay. Um, and
Yeah, but then,
so that's yeah. So you're winning at this point in day 2. So what's your next match?
yeah, yeah. I played top 32. I play against Metaphors, and I played Metaphors earlier in the like Swiss rounds, and it was kind of easy for me because they weren't playing jogging back then, but it was like easy. And both versions I played were playing the Scout Monolith combo to make Infinity,
Hmm.
and both times and like, every time they had it, I had Maxi, which is kind of shit against Pendulum, but in that certain time, it happened to be really really good
Yeah.
because they couldn't do like Zoken Infinity Crystal Wing,
Yeah.
which all that like destroys Cosmos. And like top 32, I have 2-0 I 2-0 my Metaphors match, and then top 16 I play against Bowden, and then you know how that goes because he won the whole YCS.
I mean,
I think that was like
that's not too bad to be honest. Like saying, I lost to the winner.
yeah, like if I was losing anybody, I'd be glad that I lost to the winner.
Yeah. I mean, when it's your day, it's your day,
Yeah, I
right?
just yeah, but he was doing like really well that whole weekend. It was just like game one against him. I won the die roll and I opened all monsters, which if I had island it'd be okay, but I didn't have island, so I was just only able to stick one monster, and then I couldn't get to my traps and stuff. So he was able to like grind through, get me down, and then make F-Zero and just attack for game.
Yeah.
And then game two, I went first again. I opened cherries, but I didn't open a pilot. I had ships in hand. I didn't have a pilot. If I had a pilot, I would have been okay with the cherries because he opened like 4 traps. I had Max C2, so he revealed the special on Max C. I thought he was gonna go Vandy's Fiend, but and it was a barbar too, like one of the biggest ones. So when me not having a pilot, he special summons on Max C. He's like, okay, um, just attack, set 4, pass, and I'm like, shit. And I know, I know I know he's playing like strikes and stuff like that. And I'm like, at this point, it's gonna be tough because I don't have a pilot. Even though I get the pilot, like the pilot's not gonna last. Like if I use like if it's tin can effect's not gonna last. If I tag out, I'm not gonna tag out because it's gonna have striker warning, and then fog blade as well. So like it was just nothing I could do for that game too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you had a good record there, and it was a good run, and that was your most recent top, right?
Second most recent, I did ARG the Oklahoma City. That was after that I topped with the Fire King Cosmos.
Oh yeah,
That was
this was
with
post ban list as well, so that's really impressive.
yeah, and that one I finished with 7 wins and then 1 draw. Like so, I started like
Yeah,
technically I didn't lose that weekend until top 16.
yeah,
And like the way with ARGs go, if you're the higher seed in top cut, you get to choose who goes first.
yep,
And the person I was playing BA, who was manning DD Crow, which really doesn't do anything against my deck.
yep.
And he opened with it turn 1, and I had the Fire King combo, and it disrupted it a little bit, but I was still able to end broken. And him having DD Crow, that's 4 cards. That's a card out of his hand, so he starts his first turn with 5,
Yeah.
with like a pretty good board that I have. And then I just destroy him game 1. The game 2 and game 3, I technically lose to Vanity's Fiend. And I sided the outs for it. Just game 2, I went through too many resources. Once I drew the out to like steal the game, and then game 3, I opened Island, but no way to get rid of it. I opened like Island Forbidden Chalice, Dark Lady, and like Slip Rider. So I had no way to get rid of the Fire King Island. Even if I had another field spell, I could have got rid of it and like been safe. But I put 2 pilots on board, had Landwalker in hand. I have strike set. I think this is like where it goes into hindsight as well, like what I could have done to like not lose. So I have Chalice in hand too, so I don't set the Chalice. I keep it in hand just in case he has Twin Twister.
Yeah.
So I set the strike. He special summons BA. I'm like, that's fine. And then on the resolution, I tag out one of my pilots to summon Landwalker, because I'm pretty sure I'm reading that he's gonna have a Vandy's Fiend play, and he's like, okay, that's fine. She beats a Vandy's Fiend. I'm like, okay, I read that. Then he Regekis, and I'm like, fuck. I'm like, he had to have it. So he Regekis, nothing floats, and he attacks. I'm like, okay, pass turn. I draw a card. I draw Tin Can. So I have Chalice in hand. So I'm on the back row. He sets a back row. So I'm reading it's either like strike or um fog blade. If it's fog blade, it's fine. I can, like, before I go into end phase, I can just chalice the Vanity Fiend and tag out and activate the effect tag out for a Dark Lady. So I'm like, okay, I'll be fine. So I summon the Tin Can and I try to go to end phase, and he's like, on your resolution of end, like before you go into end phase, Twin Twister, your strike, and your Fire King Island, and he discards Scarm. And I'm like, fuck. Like at that point, I realized I lost the game, because like there was literally nothing I could do. Like for me to be
Yeah.
able to play through that, I had to draw a ship instead of the tin can with that play. Like I had to draw that.
Well, that's pretty cool that you've just like looked that into your mind and realized like what could have went differently and stuff. Especially since so long ago, I can barely remember any of my matches, but yeah. So
yeah, like it's sometimes. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna like start wrapping up now. I've just got a couple of final things to mention. So really quickly, before we go into Q&A, because it's been over an hour, but this has been really awesome. Actually, I've really enjoyed this.
Oh yeah.
Just tell us a little bit about, I guess, for the future. What's your plans? What events do you plan to go to? Are you gonna go to attend every event and stuff? Because with work and stuff, you did say it's flexible and stuff. So you're probably here for the long haul, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll pretty much almost all the events the rest of the season I plan on going to. I know there's an ARG tomorrow in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Just like I had to save up. I had rent to and everything, so I couldn't go to that for this week. I'm going to a regional tomorrow in Florida. Actually, we'll be leaving in like a couple hours,
Yeah.
like about 4 hours. We'll be leaving. But I'll be there just to dick around. I'm trying to really saucy Kozmo list. I'm gonna see if that works out. But Minneapolis, the YCS Minneapolis, I'll be there. I'm looking to see how if I'll be able to make it to Anaheim, and there's an ARG in Atlanta in November that I'll be at, of course. And I'm actually looking in the books to actually try to make it to the YCS in Bochum. I'm actually working on that one.
Oh yeah, for
So
sure.
hopefully that yeah,
That'll be
hopefully that
good.
goes through because yeah, I like the Toronto technically, even though it's connected to to the United States, it's technically out of the country, but and like Toronto was like it's a beautiful city. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But I want to be like really really out of the country for a YCS, and hopefully Bochum is the first one.
The US and EU are just like super different like mentalities and attitudes to the game, I think. So that would definitely be a really cool experience for you.
Oh yeah, and I know like some of the rulings are different. Even with Euro like the Euro TCG, I know it's different than like how we do over here.
Yeah.
So I
Yep.
know like that's one thing that's be different.
Especially for Cosmo. Cosmo is actually like substantially better here because of certain rulings.
Yeah, like I know like the like kind of the kind of how the net thing,
Yep.
like similar things like that. Like I know that's like it's broke. I wish I could have like played in a Euro one like with Cosmos at three. I see how it went over there.
Yeah, exactly.
I I saw.
All right, so moving on to some generic stuff. Just really quick before we wrap up, what's your most favorite deck that you've played with?
My favorite deck that I played with was Bujins actually.
Oh Jesus, really?
Okay, like Bujin, of course, Dragon Rulers was fun. Like it was fun for me. I don't know about everybody else that wasn't playing the mirror match, but
Can I just
Dragon
say
Rulers
that
was
someone who's played rulers and judged the ruler tournaments and stuff like that, to say that you have that experience and then to decide that, oh no, not rulers, Bujin was my favorite deck, that just baffles my mind. But sure, go on.
Bujins. Like I don't know what it was about Bujins. I like the way they looked, and I kind of like the play style. At that point in time, I kind of like the play style, even though it was a protected. People thought it was a protect the castle deck, but like the way I built my Bujins when I played them at that time, it wasn't like protect the castle. Like people were playing Kaiser Coliseum and stuff like that. I didn't. I might have played it. I might have played Kaiser Coliseum for one YCS. Like I think of YCS Philly that I played Kaiser Coliseum on Bujin deck. But outside of that, every time I played Bujins, it was like a turbo deck. Like I was special summoning a lot. Not even just with Carnation. I was just spamming special summons with Bujins and then like doing like turbo stuff. Like honestly, I was building my Bujins to not protect the castle, like be aggro and OTK and stuff like that. That's how I was building mine. So that's why I enjoyed it.
Oh, no comment.
Yeah.
No comment. What's your most hated deck of all time?
Oh my god, it's a long list. Oh my god, I'm going. All right, so Evil Swarms.
Yep, definitely.
Fuck that deck. Infernoids. For some reason, I can't beat that deck during Necros format. Fuck that deck. Any deck that runs Carter Demise.
Yep.
Cosmos get a little leeway, but the Demise version sucks to me because you only put one monster on board, and that just screams Kaiju. So any deck that plays Demise, especially Barrier Spell, fuck that deck. Exodia, fuck that deck. The the library magical explosion deck
Yep.
with the chicken game, especially fuck that deck. Oh my god. Like in pretty much any deck where there's no interaction, where it's like literally like extra helmet. Like people think Fujin is helmet, like magical explosion, all those other decks that I just named are literally just helmet. You just sit there and not do anything. Like and there's no interaction. And so even though like with Fire King Cosmos, like you make your board, like you go first, you want your board to be like Infinity, Dark Planet, Lady, all of that. Even though you do all that, it still can be interaction in the game, unless you're just playing pendulums, and then now you just fuck. But literally, like it still can be some interaction within the game. It's hard, but you can still do it. So, like, literally, those other decks, there's no interaction whatsoever. You can't do anything to your opponent drawing their whole deck first turn and just OT like FTK you, or they draw Exodia, or you sit behind hella traps with like barrier statue or fossil dino.
Yeah.
Like there's literally there's no interaction, and like I hate decks like that. Like I hate them with a passion.
So, what's your most favorite and least favorite formats?
My favorite format was Like like Dragon Ruler was my favorite format, not because of just like how good the deck was, and like it was like technically like the only deck, even though it was that in spellbooks, but that was I feel like that was the format where I really started getting better. Well, started to get better. Of course, I like progressed from that with throughout the years, but that was the first format where I started seeing improvement, where I was doing really well when I started getting regional tops at that point. Like that got me like where I wanted to be, and then um like just move on after that. Like keep building up on that. My least favorite format was um after full power Pepe, after full power pendulums, with like the performance pendulums with the
So the
monarch army.
adjusted list, basically.
Yeah, I hate monarchs. Monarchs is on that list too, just because I was playing Cosmos. But
Yeah.
like that deck was unfair. But like I hated playing against monarchs. I was like, please don't play a monarch. And then they go past prime. I'm like, fuck.
Yep. Yep. Well, do you have any final words or closing statements, shout outs, etc.?
I just want to say I like just for us to be able to collab with this, I definitely appreciate like the opportunity to like talk with you, like gel with you, and like
Of
let
course.
you know a little bit about me and everything. Like I first of all, I would just want to say that I would really appreciate that. Especially
Anytime.
less like us. And like, I just want to say like for everybody listening, like it was a chore, like trying to match up at times and everything. That was a big that was a big chore, but I'm so glad we got to do it. And then just
Yeah.
for those people listening that are like trying to get better and like do well in the game, like it's gonna be a lot of hard times, and sometimes like the hard times like take like start at the beginning and take longer than others, but just stay consistent, stay within the game, don't get discouraged. Like just keep trekking, like do your research, like not even just research cards, research rulings and stuff. Make sure you know the ins and outs of like what cards can do, timing, all that. Like little things like in the card text can like tell you like what you can and can't do, and like how you can just like gain advantage over your opponent, just knowing like how card takes work with like any of the cards or stuff. Like just research and just the biggest thing I say, just if you're like in a rut, you're not topping, you're not like not even topping locals, you're topping, if you're not even topping locals and stuff, just stay with it. It's gonna happen eventually. When it happens, you take a hold of that and just keep going with it. Move up. Don't just settle for locals. Like go higher and just keep going higher, higher until you reach the top.
That's some inspiration there for you guys. Take it how you will. But yeah, it's always good when people, come on and just give like a really super positive message to like the general community and stuff. So that means a lot to me as well. But anyway, yeah. So this definitely was a chore. It's 5 a.m. here, just to give you guys an idea of the mixed time schedules and time zones and shit. But thankfully, we got here in the end, and this has been definitely one of my favorites. I really enjoyed this. So yeah, if you just joined in the stream late, it's going to be on YouTube straight after. Actually, I'm just going to upload it because I didn't have a video scheduled for today. So you're going to be able to watch that like ASAP. I'd like to thank Blair and TheCardGuyz for coming on, of course, and being here and just talking about everything. It was a real pleasure. So make sure you follow them on social media. I'll put some links in the description. And from me, I guess, this has been another episode of History of the Yu-Gi-Oh Player with Blair Hunter.